when you are not doing well, that you feel like you're not even like on your path, you're so off the rail because like so many things happen and you're just like so feeling down, that's only way for you to like get through it is to give. When you feel like you can't give.
Hey everyone, Reyna Torres here, and I'm super excited that we have arrived at season 2 of the Women Creating Magic podcast. I run my own creative studio, and I wanted to create a platform for amazing women to have real conversations about our experience in the entertainment industry, and just talk about that moment that we decided to take control of our lives as women. A safe and open space to sit down comfortably with a cup of tea or a glass of wine to relax and have an open conversation about their experiences as women in the entertainment industry. Be sure to like, follow, subscribe, comment, and leave a review because all of that will really help us out and keep us going. Today, I sat down with Sayaka Miyatani. We had a fascinating conversation about life, self-love, and her journey coming to USA to pursue her passion. Please welcome Sayaka Miyatani. Pretty much buy like shampoos and conditioners and then pretty much stuff for my face.
I mean, your skin looks great too.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I 2 more years and I'll be 40. I'm like,
wait, you're 38
I'm
right now?
38 in July.
Cool. I just turned 39, so we're about the same age.
Oh, we're going to be 40 soon.
Woo-hoo. We're doing it.
I know people like trip out because I tell them like my age and then I'll automatically say like, oh yeah, and my kids, and they're like, what?
Yeah.
Like, how many kids do you have? I'm like 4, and like
you have 4 kids?
Yeah, that's the same reaction.
I would never imagine that you would.
Yeah, and when I say that, they ask me with the following, like, how old are they?
Right. So that was my next
year,
question.
Yeah. So this year, the oldest is 21, 19, 18, and my daughter would be 11. So it's 3 boys and a girl.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
21?
Mm-hmm.
I sometimes I teach some like acting classes at the acting studio that I work and study at. And one of the students was like 19, and I didn't know that. I just assumed he's like in mid-20. And then after that, like I learned that he's 19. Like I log off the class because it was on Zoom, and I was like, I could be his mother. That reality kicked in. It's like, I could be his fucking mother. And then like that really hit me that I started texting one of my coworkers. I just found out the student is like 19. Like, I could be his mother. Like, what is happening?
Yeah, that's it's funny. Yeah, it's weird because you see these actors and musicians and they're in their early 20s, and it makes me think like it feels weird because it's like to be attracted to that and to be like, yes, well, they're technically the same age as my son, but technically I had him really young, so it doesn't really, I have to like tell myself it doesn't count.
Yeah, it doesn't count. That's okay.
It cancels. It cancels because if I waited till I was like 25 to have my kids, then my son would have been like 15, so we're good. I'm like, we're good. It's canceled. Yeah, because I'm a big fan of Twilight. Yeah. And so when I saw the second, full moon, whatever, and a new moon, and it was Jacob. Yeah. The guy who plays Jacob. Yes. And he's all like toned up. He's like, he looks good, but at the same time, like, he's a minor in that.
Right. He was
and
like
you have to remind yourself, like, even though he has a shizzle body, he looks amazing.
He's a child.
He's a child. He's a child. Like no, like stop it. Yeah.
That's really funny.
Yeah. And then later on, I'm just like, oh, perfect. And later on, I'm just like, yeah, it's like, now that I watch it, I'm just like, well, I'm not phased. Like, whatever. He's older now. I can say he was very young looking and very good looking, but it makes me think like he used to be Shark Boy in that stupid Lava Shark Boy movie, and I'm like, ugh.
I didn't even remember that movie.
I do because my kids watched it. Oh, that's what was like.
There you go. There you go.
No. Yeah, I can't.
I need to look it up.
Yeah. So, like, I can't remember that guy's name. Well, it's French. The character, you know his name. The main character in Dune.
Timothée Chalamet or
yes,
something. Yes,
Timothée Chalamet.
His whole name sounds like a dish.
Yeah, and it's French. So it's like,
Yes.
So I remember watching him. I've never seen him in other movies, which I know he's came out in other movies, but I finally watched him in Dune. And the whole entire time, I'm just like, why am I feeling it? Like, I feel very attracted to this guy.
He's a pretty
he's
human.
young. And I was
yeah.
like, and I remember watching it and thinking, yeah, I need to step away from these feelings. Like, he's too young. Like, and I'm like Googling his age. I'm like, yeah, he's a little too young, but he looks very handsome, very pretty.
I just had to admire them like a pretty painting or something.
Yes. I think it was because of the clothes because when I see him outside, I'm like, oh no, I'm not attracted to that. Yeah. But when I see him in the movie and what he's wearing,
role he plays,
and he had this like very grown, like strong man, and I was like, oh, this is, and I tried to figure out like why,
what is this attraction, like what is this exactly?
Exactly. But the guy who plays his father, you know his name. Oscar Isaac. Well,
I love that man, by the way. He is the man.
And Pedro Pascual. I like, if you see this ever, I want you. I'm sorry, boyfriend. Like,
no, that's different.
But Isaac, oh my God. I've seen him in so many movies.
Yeah, I actually have seen him like a few too. He's a good-looking man.
He is a very good-looking man.
He's a really good actor.
He is
and like
really
even the Star Wars,
good.
I like how his character is written. He's like kind of like a badass kind of guy. You know?
He's like the
follow the role kind of rebel.
He's like Volume 2 Han Solo. That's what it makes me think, and he pulled it off really good. Yeah, really good.
Yeah,
and I say that really good. All the movies I've seen him, he acts so damn good, and his range is so good.
Yes.
That is amazing, because he could do something so serious. There's one with the cards, the playing cards, right? Oh. Do you remember the name of the... We went to go... Counting?
I love that you're like IMDb to her. That you're
I'm like... Well, he is. He's like...
Oh, you're a filmmaker.
Like, he's a filmmaker.
Yeah.
For me, I'm really good at faces and remembering situation and stuff like that. But when it comes to names and, like, movie names, I'm just like, hey, so, like, what was the name of that one person that came out in this movie that we were doing all this stuff?
You like, can't remember anything. So, like, that guy from that movie, you know that one that was, like, it's that.
And I'll explain, like, in detail, like, this is what happened in the movie and this and that. And he's like, you mean? And I'm like, yes, that person.
That whole thing, itself should be a card game. Like, guess this movie.
Gosh.
Well, there is that game, Seen It. Have you ever played it?
Oh, I want to play that.
Really?
Didn't we say we were going to play that?
Remember we played it at my place?
But that was a Disney one.
Oh, right. Okay.
They have other versions.
That was a Disney one.
But it's basically what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Like, it started with Disney, but now they're doing it for, like, other shows.
Oh, that's fun.
But it's called Seen It, where you, like, put a DVD in the TV, and then it plays, like, it'll play, like, a 10 seconds of a scene from a Disney movie or something. And then you have to it'll ask you something at the end.
Wow.
Like, what movie was this from, or what was the lady wearing?
Hold on. That sounds like such a fun game.
It's
Can
awesome.
we get that so we're having a dinner next week on Friday at my house.
Okay.
If I haven't, I will send it to you.
Yeah.
The invitation. We're having Korean barbecue for the night. And I was thinking, you just said that right now. Yeah, we always...
You guys know how to do things.
Yes. So we're having Korean barbecue, and we go all out, because we make it all the time. We even have the little grill thing.
Yeah, us
and
too.
All that. Yeah.
It's like a game changer.
When you have the grill. Oh my God, yes. Yeah, we go to the store, we find out, like, what side dishes we love to eat.
Yeah.
And then we do, if we do it, you and I.
Side dishes, like a banchan, like the tiny little appetizer you'll get. Yes. Which one is your fave?
Kimchi.
I like the,
fish cake.
Fish cake is my husband's favorite. My favorite is the bean sprouts one that's marinated, kind of like a bean sprouts version of kimchi. I don't know what it is, but, like, I love it so much. And I also love that they're, like, either potato salad or pumpkin salad. They're all like mushed. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. We normally get the kimchi, the fish cake, and we get what is it? The cucumber.
Yes.
The cucumber.
Yes,
and then I like radish. I like the radish.
Okay. That like a square cut.
I like the square one, but I also know that they have the thin slice ones. I like that. We like the mashed potato too, and I like the lotus.
Yeah, me too.
I like that, and
I don't usually see them though.
I see them in H Mart.
Okay.
Yeah, and I like the beans, but they're marinated in soy sauce and sugar, so it's like have a salty sweet taste to it.
Yeah.
And rice paper, and what we do is that we'll get our meats and we'll get our sides, and we'll do sunubu too as well.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Oh, that's next level.
Yeah, so
that's
we actually make sunubu for ourselves.
Wait,
and that,
you
and
guys
then we're like,
have like
and
a
we're like,
sundofu? Really?
Wow.
Well, not like the bowl and
not
stuff.
the bowl yet. We're not there. We want to do that.
Well, if you do, I'm like, that's restaurant right there.
Well, because when we go eat, that's what we do.
Yeah.
And we eat it, and I'm just like, why can't we just do it at home?
Yes.
We did it at home, and we're just like, damn, this is so amazing. We don't have to ask for more sides because we have it here.
You know, best part about it is like when you get full, you can take a break, and then you can come back. You can't do that at the KBBQ, like, you know, the all-you-can-eat thing. Like, they only give you to be there for like 2 hours. You have to finish it. If you can't finish it, they charge you.
Yeah.
Like, that's not going to happen at your home. I love the idea. It's like, do you want to take a break? Yeah, let's take a break. Yeah. Do you want to start again? Yes. It's like, this is the best. Yeah. And I'm in my PJ, so like, I can sleep I can even take a nap if I want to.
Yep. And we have leftovers. We do it the next day.
Exactly. Yeah. So you basically, like, the money that you would spend if you go to the restaurant, you're actually eating for 2 days. Yes. With the money that you could spend.
Yes, and it's cheaper, too.
Yes.
It's so much cheaper.
And then you can really choose the one that you want to eat.
Yeah, that's what I love about it, is that when you go out there, they're kind of giving you what they have.
Yeah.
And you don't know. And sometimes they make it themselves, so you don't know how it tastes. Mm-hmm. So me, I like certain markets, how they make their sides. And I get it there. Yeah. But yeah, we do that a lot. We eat, like, for New Year's Eve with the kids, we just did Korean barbecue that day.
You know, like, that's how Asian people would spend their New Year's Eve. Like, the family get together and they do, like, a big people dish. So either, like, barbecue or, like, a hot pot. Like, that's how I used to grow up.
Okay, so that's what we want to do.
Yeah.
The shabu shabu?
Yes, we finally bought, like, a hot pot thing at home. And then, I don't know what to call it, but, like, this like individual
is it
oven thing.
Is it like to cook it?
Yeah. So we just like put it on the dining table and then set it up and put this like a pot, but we also bought this like hot pot where it's like divided in the middle so you can like enjoy the two different broth at the same time. Yeah, I was like, why didn't we buy this sooner? Like,
that's our next purchase.
Good.
That's our next. Good. That's why I told him like we should do this because we can get the meat, the balls, and all that
totally
stuff, and just
worth
like
it. Yeah.
It's cold. You know, I might get that for the dinner party for next Friday, and probably have it outside connected, and just have like little sides, and people can just like eat it. But we'll see. But for sure, we're having Korean barbecue. And we're having. For our vegan and vegetarians, we're having
so considerate.
Stir fry tofu, and I make sure that we do it like there's nothing in there, like it's completely vegan. So because we have a few friends that are vegan too, and I'm like, no, don't worry, we got you too. Yeah, so it's good.
What a good friend.
No,
sorry.
I will send you the invitation. Yes. I'm not sure if I did or not. So you can come through because it's gonna be fun. We have a fire pit going on. It's gonna be inside. I definitely gonna get the scene it. I think we're gonna get that.
Oh, that'd be so fun.
Oh my god, we're all gonna be yelling.
It's the funnest game because you're like, they'll show a scene and you're just like, oh, what is that movie?
It's like I've seen this.
Everyone's dying and then finally someone gets it and it's just.
Those are such a satisfying moment.
Yeah. You know what I used to do in college? I used to do where we would be when we all hanged out. Yeah. And we would say a celebrity's name. And then you would have to try to say as many movies that celebrity came out. Yes. And then whoever has the most wins. But it was hilarious because somebody would be... Like, not that you have to say the most, but at least you need to know one movie. Mm-hmm. And if you don't, you're out. You get out of the circle. So somebody would say Bruce Willis, Die Hard, and then Die Hard 2, and Die Hard 3, and Die Hard 4, and I was like, are you serious?
Wow.
Yeah, it was hilarious. I was like,
That's
oh
really
my
funny.
God,
Like,
dude.
don't be lazy.
No.
Say 6 cents or something.
Hate
it more than
that's
Die Hard.
that's what it was. People were doing that. I was like, that's not fair, people.
Yeah.
The heck? How did you? I mean, we talked about the Long Beach. Like, you moved into Northern California.
Mhm.
Then you finally moved into LBC.
Yeah.
When was the pinnacle point that you kind of just said, this is really what I want to do? Because you came out here because this is what you were, you made the decision. You're like, okay, I want to do something in an entertainment business, an actress, and so forth. But when was it when you really made that choice? When you really just said, fuck, this is what I'm going to do?
Well, I remember vividly, it sounds crazy, but it was when I was 3 years old. So, again,
no way.
yeah, I know. I was
So you
crazy.
knew already by 3.
I committed at that age already. So, you know, I was, like, born and grew up in a village, so there weren't, like, much things going on. But time to time, there's this, like, you know, the musical theater company that, like, locates in Tokyo would do, like, a national tour, and then sometimes they would stop by at our hometown. There were only, like, one theater. My mom was trying to, like, have me experience things as much as possible because she knew, like, this village that I grew up in, my mother grew up in, doesn't have much to offer. So she tried to, like, have me experience, like, all the things as possible. So she took me to this musical, and then I'm watching this musical, having fun, enjoying it, and then at the same time, I was like, oh, no, I should not be here. I should not be sitting here in the audience. I'm the type of person that should be on stage there. Like, I want to be there. And that's when I knew that I want to be, like, and also, you know, I didn't know what that was. I didn't know that was called actors and all that kind of stuff. But I was like, I want to be the performer person. Yeah. So, and then also 3 years old, my mom's side, my mother's side grandfather used to own a construction company. And then every year he would, like, take all the employees to, like, retreat trip, like some kind of hot spring, like, 2 nights or whatever. And then because my mom is, like, also working for my grandpa, he invited me and my mom and me to that trip. And then one time he brought the guests to the retreat trip, which was the English teacher that was hired by my hometown. And she doesn't speak Japanese, and she was basically there to, like, teach people how to speak English. Mm-hmm. So, like, he brought her over, and then she joined our retreat trip. And then I'm watching her, like, interacting with people, and then it's not normal, right? Like, they're not exchanging any words. They're just, like, using their, like, body language and everything. And I was asking my mom, I was like, what is happening with that lady? Like, everyone is, like, acting so odd to her. And then she was like, oh, just because she speaks different language. And then my mind was blown because I didn't know that there's, like, other languages exist other than what I spoke. So I was like...
You're like, there's other languages?
Yeah, there are other language? And I was like, what is that? And my mom was like, it's called English. And she was like, it's one of the most, like, well-known language in the world. So if you can speak that language, you can basically talk to anybody in the world. That's so true. That idea really inspired me. It's like, yeah, like, it sucks to like, not be able to talk to anybody, you know? So why don't I just, like, learn English so that I can talk to the people in the world? So then... as I grew up, those are the 2 things that I wanted to do, like, speak English and want to be an actor. And then as I grew up, I was like, why did I do 2 things together? Like, killing the 2 birds with 1 stone or whatever. So then that's when I fully realized, when I was, like, graduating high school, I told my mom, I was like, I think it's time for me to go to America and to be an actor. So that's how it all went. Yeah.
No way.
Yeah,
so
I know, it's crazy.
3 years old.
Yeah, so I would always tell people that, like, my turning point was when I was 3. And they're like, what does that even mean?
Because you're just like, you're 3, like, what?
Yeah.
No, but it's true. Like, things like that inspire you and makes you kind of just see things so much more different, even at a young age.
Yeah, when you know it. So then after that, like, I would, like, any chance that I get, I keep saying, like, I'm gonna go to America, I'm gonna move to America. And then
You're manifesting it.
I was manifesting it.
From a young age.
Yeah, and people thought I was crazy, which totally understandable. Also, I am crazy, so they're right about that. And I remember, like, we were all graduating from like preschool and then moving on to elementary school, and it was like such a small town. So like the kids who are about to go to elementary school, that town would like interview everyone, saying like, hey, like congratulations, you're going to elementary school, you know, like different chapter of your life. And they do mini interview like, what are you most excited about, like when you start going like first grade, you know, what are you most excited about? And people are like, oh, I can't wait to like learn things, like I can't wait to like make new friends, or like I can't wait to like play sports. And I was like, I can't wait to learn English. At that time, Japanese elementary school do not teach English, so people are like, does she know? But I was telling my mom, like, I know school don't teach English, but I do know there are some like resources outside of the school that there's like a little English teaching classes. Like I wanna do that. And
that's
my
kind of
mom
funny because people are probably like, English?
Exactly. So that's like when I was about to be a first grade. And then my mom was like, okay, well, I don't like, that sounds like way too spontaneous. So I want to make sure that you're committed to that. So let's wait for a year. And then a year later, if you remember it, then like I'll take you to the English class. So then year after I became second grade, it's like, remember that?
Oh.
And then she was like, okay. So
like,
I was
let's do this.
obsessed with the whole idea. Yeah.
But that's kind of what you do to do something major.
Mm-hmm.
Because moving from Japan to the States, especially California, that's big.
It is.
That's big. That is big commitment. And at a young age, too.
Mm-hmm.
At a young age. So, yeah, you had to manifest that energy to, like, get there.
Yes, for sure. I have to convince a lot of people, including my parents, because, like, it's scary for them, too.
Because something happens, they can't just come over here the next day, you know?
Yeah. So, it was, like, 2001 that I was senior at my high school. So, the way the Japanese school system works, you know, like, the new school year starts like August or September in here. In Japan, it's April. So it's like April to March is considered like a year. So my senior year in high school was like 2001 spring to 2002 spring. And then, so within that year, I have to convince my parents that, like, this is what I'm going to do. Like, I'm not going to college in Japan. So, like, I have to convince them and all. And my mom would, like, throw me all these like challenges that I need to overcome. So she was like, if you want to go to school, do the research your own. Like I can support you financially, which is great. But she was like, but you have to convince me. You have to come up. Basically, she asked me, I need to do whole presentation. Like
you're gonna have to do a PowerPoint presentation.
Yeah, exactly.
Of like exactly where I go.
How much does the school cost? Like, and what about the dorm?
Like,
and how are you going to live? And what is your goal? What are you trying to accomplish? Like you can't just go there and like play
in there.
Exactly.
Like, how much is
budgeting?
Yeah, budgeting.
Yes.
How much is it there compared to here?
Yeah. And then all the paperwork you need to do your own. And I was like, okay. And then I did that. And then there's this like English test that were provided by Japanese government. So it was kind of like a legit English test for people to know like how you are good at it. And then my mom told me like, you have to pass this test and there's like a certain level. And then there's like level 5, 4, 3, 2, something like that. So she basically challenged me to pass the level 2. I passed it. So I passed all the things that she forced me to like pass. Then I was like, all right, like nothing can fucking stop me. Then 9/11 happened.
Oh shit.
So that was a whole different thing. Like my mom now, like I don't know if I want to like send you there. It's like way too much of risk. And I was like, well, I understand that, but like I don't know, I still want to go, you know. And then my mom like she hired one of my close friends and one of my favorite teacher from 4th grade. Mind you, I'm like 17 at that point. She will hire my favorite teacher from my 4th grade and my close friend, and then convince Sayaka not to go. I didn't even know that she was doing that. She's such an evil lady with the plan. But both of them, when they're talking to me, they both broke down. And they're like, I can't do it. And I was like, can't do what?
Like, I can't convince you.
Yeah. And then they're like, I can't do it. Like, can't do what? It's like, your mom asked me to talk you out of this. And I was like, are you shitting me? And I was like...
she really was like, no.
Yeah. But also, like, I am that bitch. Like, I understand it. I'm a mama's daughter. But I was like, Mom. Like, come on.
But you moved to California and you didn't move to major cities.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you moved to Northern California.
Yeah.
So that's really safe up there.
Yeah, it was safe.
Was that something like that your mom kind of...
She didn't say necessarily anything, but I knew that I needed
You're
to
like,
go
I'm going to
somewhere
go.
like
I'm going to
that.
go.
Yeah. I knew, like, my capability. I'm like, I don't think I can mentally handle LA. That sounds too much.
What made you want to come here and do this compared to doing it in Japan?
Well...
What was the... Because I'm pretty sure you thought about that, like, you know, the acting and stuff.
Yeah. I did a little bit until I could put these, like, two thoughts together. It's like, well, I always wanted to speak English and wanted to go to America. Also wanted to be an actor. So I should be an actor in America so I can do it all. But to get there, I also knew that I was just really different. And I'm not blaming anything, but the Japanese culture and mentality is like, we kind of prioritize work together as a team or group mentality rather than you like a standing out than anybody kind of thing. Yeah. They don't want you to be different because like being different can be a risk of being a rebel, you know, or like being different is like hard to control. So you kind of like would be seen as more of a troublemaker. Nobody treated me that way. No. But every teacher that had me were saying, like, I think you're too unique for this hometown. Or, like, I think you're too unique for this school.
Yeah.
And then it just getting bigger.
Like a level... You're not meant to be a village girl. You're meant to be more, like, city girl out there.
But then somebody else was like, I don't even think that Tokyo can handle you. Like, way that is like how you different you are and how you carry yourself. I feel like you might gonna get suppressed. And I was like, I feel like it too. Yeah. And then, you know, I would watch like a bunch of shows, American TV shows, like a Full House and like Alf, if you remember.
I remember that.
And then like those are like also unique show. The plot of a Full House, like 3 guys that are best friends being a dad, like father figure. I was like, oh, that's such a freedom, you know. And then you would watch like Alf and the concept of like the regular family is like living with alien and nobody says anything about it. It's like it's so stupid, but I really like the outside of the box idea that American show would always like give it to me, and I was like I saw much more freedom and the expression of freedom that I feel like if I go to America, let's say I'm still unique and different, but I don't think people will look at me in the way that they do in Japan. No. And I think they could nourish my weirdness. Yeah. Than being in Japan. Yeah. I know like there is a lot of comedians out there that are women and so successful in Japan, but also like
strange. I never thought about comedians from Japan. Never thought about that.
And then, like, you know, like...
That hasn't even popped in my head.
Exactly. And I wanted to be an actor as well. And also, the Japanese entertainment industry, like, they only, like, hire, like, perfectly perfect pretty girls. And then I know, like, appearance have to do a lot with it. And then...
the standard of that.
Yeah. And then, I'm not saying, like, I'm ugly or anything, but I just knew that, like, oh, I don't fit in the category.
They'll change you.
I didn't really see any possibility for me to like staying there, and I feel like, well, like America is more diverse. I don't think they give a fuck about me not looking
it's certain more diverse way. Yeah, but I think you're right, because in Japan and even in South Korea, like they tend to
have beauty standards.
And that means this will no longer look like this.
No.
It has to look like this, and you're miserable because you can't express yourself.
Yeah.
So a lot of the people in entertainment, they can't really express who they are.
And if you're looking different, you want to make your way out, then, like, there's no way but, like, it's inevitable for you to, like, make fun of yourself or, like, let other people make fun of yourself, or, like, you just have to, like, make self-deprecating joke.
Yeah.
So that way you were accepted. It's like, oh, she knows she is different. She knows she's not pretty. Yeah. So, like, you just have to be funny, you know? And I was like, I don't know if I can handle that.
No, it's kind of depressing because I remember my coworker would say, you'd be surprised. A lot of people are suicidal when it comes to being in entertainment there. And I was like, why? And she's like, well, they're in these long-term contracts and they have to stay in this and they work them to death and they have no social life because they have to stick to this routine that they have. And they can't really express who they are.
Yeah.
And even if they're hanging out with friends, they have to be very careful of, like, how they act. And it's like, oh, shit, I did not know that.
Yeah.
Here, obviously, there is a standard of look. Sure. There is, but it's way more open.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's way more open compared to places.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That's so crazy. So you came here, found your husband. She's married, people.
I am. I don't even know when we started filming, but I am.
Yeah, before that, so she's married, people. 15 years, and how has he supported you in regards of all of this?
Well, first of all, he's, like, the best human being I ever met in my entire life, and that would never change how I see him as. And to like, support that, even my dad, we had, like, a small wedding in Japan, and at the end of, like, reception, it's kind of a thing that, like, bride side of the parents would make a final speech saying, like, thank you so much for coming, and, like, you know, I wish nothing but the happiness for my daughter and the son-in-law, blah blah blah. My dad was like, thank you so much, everyone, for coming here. It means a lot. And he was like, we would never thought that she would get married, but she did. So there's that. And I was like, that I agree with. And then he goes, my husband named Steve. I call him Stevie, but he calls Steve. And then he goes, like, Steve is the nicest man I ever met my entire life.
Aww.
And I still don't understand. Such a nice man like him, why he chose to marry with my daughter, I really don't get it. And then he goes, so if anything happened between these two and they decided to get married, I'm gonna just say right now, 100% it's gonna be Sayaka's fault. And then he was like, thank you for coming, everybody.
Oh my God.
So I was like, yeah, he's right. So we both were in the theater major, Long Beach, and the long story short, he had a major crush on me during the college time. I, however, came out of this, like, 3 years, which for me was a long relationship, and I was drained and I hated myself, so I wanted to focus on myself. Bad timing. He was coming onto me strong, and I was like, no, please don't stop. I need to focus on myself. And then nothing wrong with them. He just liked me. He couldn't stop. But, like, he was too strong to me at that point. Like, you are ruining my life right now. Like, but okay, I'm gonna give you an option. I was like, I know, who the fuck I think I am? But I was like, you either stop saying I love you and then just stick to be friends, or you are out of my life forever. So he decided to be with my friend and then give up on these feelings. But after that, we became really good friends. And then we spent, like, a whole year every single day together. And and then I was, like, finishing school, and at that point, I had some, like, issue to legally staying here. So I was, like, at some point put in the position where I can't stay here legally, so I have to go back to Japan. And then when I was thinking about that, I was, like, evaluating my life. Like, what am I going to lose? And then what am I okay with and what I'm not going to be okay with? So I was telling that to Stevie, and then as I was evaluating life, if I go back to Japan right now, like, what I cannot live without. So I basically told him at that point that I cannot live without you. And I accidentally proposed to him. Then he goes, you just proposed to me. And I'm like, oh, fuck, I did. So then the week after, he proposed me back with the ring. And the week after, we flew to Vegas because Vegas is the easiest way to get married.
Yeah.
So we just got married. So we technically haven't, like, dated, but we hang out, like, every day for a year.
You guys know each other, yeah.
Yeah, so within that time, like, the whole year we hang out as a friend, I still, like, his feeling will, like, creep up time to time. So he was like, I can't give up. And I was like, no, like, what did I tell you? Like, you're breaking a promise. So time to time, I try to, like, be mean as possible so that I thought he could hate me. He embraced everything about me. And I was like, what is wrong with them? And I was like, I'm never gonna meet someone like him. Like, at that point, he knew everything about me more than anybody does. Like, I'm always like this. I don't, like, fake myself. Like, what you see is what you get. So everybody have a pretty decent idea about, like, who I am as a person. But, like, my parents and my brother are the only people that knows my good side and the bad side and the pretty side and the ugly side. And then Stevie came in and then he embraced it all. He was cool with it. So, and then that has never changed since the day that I met him. So, he's supportive as hell. And like, he says that my career is priority, which it shouldn't be that way.
Yeah.
But, that's how much he supports me. Yeah.
That's so good.
Yeah.
That's good when you have somebody who supports you like that.
Yeah, and it's like a good type of a support. Like, he doesn't give me, like, opinion that I haven't asked. So let's say, like, I do an audition and he'll be my reader. He wouldn't give me acting notes because I never asked. But, you know, some people can help it. Like, hey, you know, why don't you do this? Like, did I ask? You know?
Yeah.
He never does that. And then, for the acting, he doesn't give me notes unless I ask him.
I was
like,
going to say,
hey,
unless you ask him,
exactly.
like, how do you think that went through?
Yeah.
And then that's when it's like, all right.
So we just have the natural consent in that area. And then he's totally cool with, like, whatever I do as an artist. So, like, any scene I do, like, sometimes I have to do intimate scene, like, physically and things like that. He's totally cool with that. And, you know, every joke that I make in stand-up, he's cool with that too. Even the joke that I haven't done in the public, but even the joke that I make about his mother-in-law, grandmother-in-law, who passed last year, but she was really funny, so I still make fun of her, and he's cool with it. So
it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's some people that don't like that whenever you're doing, like, comedy stand.
Mm-hmm.
They don't like, don't talk about me up there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I do actually have a few girlfriends that have husbands who are not saying, like, don't make a joke about me, but they would tell them that, like, that joke is not funny, I don't get it. If anybody in my circle would do that shit, I would be like...
I wonder if they heard it from someone else,
Mm-hmm.
would they have found it funny?
Mm-hmm.
If it wasn't, like, the same joke, but they were talking about some other person, not them.
Yeah.
And I wonder if the husband would find that funny. I think
Yes, I think so.
I always question that, because it's like, but what if it was someone else?
You know, like, I think that those husbands just cannot separate themselves from their spouse doing the thing. Like, it gets personal to them.
Yeah.
And I think it's a good thing that, like, they're that much of a supporter, and then it's that important for them as well. But, like, don't take personal. So, like, let's say your wife is not killing it out there. Like, let's say, like, she's not having, like, much of a good night, and then set is not that good. Doesn't mean she's not funny.
Yeah.
It's a lot of things. And then they want to, like, give them notes after that.
Oh, no.
And I was like...
That's funny.
Like, yeah.
Like, you're not the one up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, if you're going to have someone, your partner, who's doing some stand-up, like, you need to really... That's, like, a really huge support. Because you know there's going to be hecklers, and you know there's going to be people that are not going to like it.
Yeah.
Or things that person may say, you might not agree with, like, the joke they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
But... I think overall, it's, like, support.
Yeah.
Might agree, but at least support.
Yes.
You know?
100%.
How has it been doing all of this?
Mm-hmm.
Like we were talking in the beginning, those low points, those moments where you're like, what the fuck am I doing? Have you struggled with that? So, I mean, we all struggle with that.
Yeah.
Not that have you.
Like, I have, of course.
Yeah, we all have. Yeah.
There's like one of those nights that you're like, I'm the shit, and there's one of those nights like, what? I'm nobody. Like, it's just gonna continue the rest of my life. It's like, it's extreme, right?
Yeah.
We just go through that. Can't help it.
You know where I find myself sometimes?
Yeah.
I'll be taking a shower and I'll be listening to music, and then some came out, and I'm like, damn, I'm totally feeling this. And then I'm like, okay, I gotta keep this energy throughout the whole day. No, it doesn't stay. It doesn't stay like that all day. And I'm just like, what happened? I was in the shower. It's like feeling so amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like such a stupid thing. Like, you would like like the recent thing. It's so stupid once again. But like when the Oscar nominations were announced, and there were like a lot of Asian actors and artists got nominated. It got me so pumped about it. Like, that's amazing.
Oh yeah, that makes you feel so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I see this, like, I follow some of the Insta accounts where it's like an Asian entertaining community, right? But I'm not a part of it. They don't know me. So then, they don't know me. Like, it's like a major, the Asian media outlet.
And it's not like a big, it's like the Hispanic, it's a small group.
Yeah.
So it's like, what?
Yeah, those media outlet, like only praises like the Hollywood A-list actors, you know, which I understand, and or like a major influencer that's well known for their contents, blah blah blah. So then I will look at the Insta account where they're praising, which they should, and at the same time, like, they don't even know me. Like,
well, see, that's the thing. Like,
it's so stupid.
I want to say, like, when, okay, let's be real. Like, it's very, very heavy white, like, actors and actresses. Mm-hmm. It's like that. Let's be real. That's the truth about it. So whenever there's an ethnicity outside from it, it's small.
Yeah.
And because it's small, we should, like, bring in, like, everybody should be accepted in there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, so-and-so, you know, and so and this person.
Yeah.
And instead of being like, oh, just the A-listers, you know? And it's like, no, it should be everybody in that community because it's such a small community.
Yeah.
That it should be, like example, they should have you there.
Mm-hmm.
Because it is a small community. We need to know more people, like more actors,
mm-hmm.
more entertainers that are in the Asian
mm-hmm.
cultural and or Hispanic.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, I see that and I'm like, what the heck? Because I was talking to this other person, and she was talking about, it's so funny that the Latin community entertainment is so small, we all know each other. And I was like, you're right, but we're not really all in that
not
same circle.
Really in the loop.
No.
Yeah. No. So maybe, like, they should, I know they do, like, you know, have events and, like, workshop and things like that. And maybe they do. I just not maybe aware of it. Maybe they can, like, have meetup under their company, under their, like,
they should.
Yeah, the community, like, for people who are not necessarily A-lister, but they want to get to know each other. Like, maybe, like, come up with events like that. Anyway, but, like, it's a little thing. Nobody's fault. You just, like, all of a sudden, like, get insecure about yourself, mm-hmm. and then you just, like, go down, right? Or, like, any other things that think that you're expecting it to go well, just, like, ended up going the way that you didn't want it to be, you know? Things like that. There are millions of ways for you to, like, feeling down and depressed and all that kind of stuff. When I do what I would be honest and share how I'm feeling right now to people that I trust. So, like, Stevie, my husband, and then a couple of friends, really close friends, like, hey, gals, I'm not doing well. I just feel shitty about myself. Mm-hmm. So, I need a funny gift, and also, like, give me a digital hug. Or that somebody's like, do you want me to come over? It's like, yeah, I want to drink. You know, something like that.
Yes.
And at the same time, so I have a mentor. His name is Richard Lawson. He's also himself as, like, you know, the actor who booking all the time, and also, like, a mentor who have a mentorship program, his director, all that kind of stuff. He once said that when you are not doing well, that you feel like you're not even, like, on your path. You're so off the rail because, like, so many things happen and you're just, like, so feeling down. That's only way for you to, like, get through it is to give. When you feel like you can't give. So I reach out to other people. Like, hey, just thought of you. How are you doing?
Yeah,
Or like
I
try to support one thing, like small or big, it doesn't matter. Like I try to give something when I was going through that. Then I was like, all right, if I be able to like support and give myself to somebody, I'm not that bad, and then eventually gonna get through it.
You know, that reminds me of one of the girls that came out in season 1.
Mm-hmm.
She was talking about Monique. She talked about how do I want to give 0% or do I want to give 80%? Because I don't feel like I can give 100. Like when you're a perfectionist, you want to give 100.
Yeah.
And it's like, do you want 0 or do you want like 80% of that?
Yeah.
And that's what it kind of reminds me of. It's like when you feel like you can't do it.
Yeah.
Like you're making that choice. Okay, you're not gonna give it 0, or at least give it 80. And guess what? You gave 80.
Yeah.
You gave something out of it. That's really good. Yeah, I do that a lot. Never really thought that I would do that, because I do that when I'm not feeling low, and I see friends and stuff, and I just go and I'd be like, remember, you're a badass bitch.
Yeah.
Remember that. Remember, you're like doing this, and they're like,
Yeah.
oh my god, you're so amazing. And
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, that made me feel good. Even though I'm not feeling good, even though I'm not feeling like a badass bitch that day, like
Yes.
I try to motivate
Yeah.
women out there about it, and they're very, you know what it is? They're very surprised too, because it's very uncommon for women to be like, you can do this, out of nowhere. For someone to just be like, you can do this. Like, that's so amazing. I'm so proud of you doing that.
Yeah, true
and
that.
it's rare.
Yes.
Because when I do it, what I get in return back, they end up telling me like, oh my god, it was so rare. Thank you so much. And I'm just like, that's why I do it, because you probably needed to hear that.
Yeah, and then it's free.
Yep.
You can do that for free anytime.
Yep.
So, yeah, I'm totally with you on that. And I'm also, fortunately, type of a person that if I sleep the next day, I'm not worried about it anymore. I can reset most of the time.
Yeah.
And if I can't reset, that's the solution that I do. And the other thing is, so like my mentor has acting studio, and that's where I keep studying, and also like I get to like teach some classes. So when I'm teaching, I have to be the example. And then when students are going through that, they would share that in class, because we're all about like, you know, what it's like to be a professional. It's not all about like being successful. You know, there's like a lot of like a real life shit that you have to face with, and sometimes it's very hard. So they would share that, and then I would like say something, right? Not to be necessarily like, here's how you're gonna solve it, but more of like, how can we deal with that, and then how can we find a way to manage it?
Yeah.
So I'll have the conversation with myself. So like me not going through a so good time, and me as a teacher, how I usually like talk to students. So I'll have the conversation in my head. It's like, okay.
Yeah, you have to. It's sort of like when I'm doing this podcast, and I tell people like what I go through, and what if I'm telling you you're doing amazing, you know, you can't stop. Like, you know, you are going to have those moments. I'm really I'm kind of mirroring that back to me, because I can't say it without actually doing it.
Yeah.
It's that thing where, you know, if you're saying it, then you have to do it too.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't just like pull it out of your ass and just be like, yeah, do this.
Yeah.
And you're not really following your own instructions.
Yeah, then what are you doing? Why are you saying that?
Yeah, there's no point. There's like nothing in there.
Exactly.
So I guess your way to get out of that funk would be either sleep it off sometimes.
Really good one.
That's a good one, because it's like, okay, reset, go to sleep.
Yeah.
Or call them in people and be like, hey, you know, I'm really feeling low. And that's hard.
Yeah.
By the way, that's hard. That is not an easy thing to do,
Yeah.
to admit to someone and let them know, I'm not having a good day.
Yeah.
And even if you don't go in details, you're just like, I kind of need you to be there for me. And that's hard.
It is.
Yeah.
And I only get to do it because I'm so lucky to have girlfriends like that, and we're all like that. So
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good to have that support.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember when I would tell Anthony, I'm not having a good day. Or there'll be a while back, I was like, I don't feel pretty. I tell him I don't feel beautiful. Like I don't feel good. Like I don't feel beautiful.
Yeah.
And he would be like, okay, let's break it down. Why? And it helped so much for someone to just like, okay, just break it down. Why is it that you don't feel it? And then the end of it, I'm sort of like, I know why I'm feeling this way. I'm like, I'm forcing myself to like get myself in this position.
Yeah.
And it's like I need to get away from that.
Yeah.
Like what is it that trickled down? And then when we talk about it, I tell him, oh, I see why I started feeling that way. It's because of what happened here. And that is what triggered me.
Yes.
And when you kind of do an investigation, you're like FBI in your own emotions. You're like, okay, taking notes, going back to files.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
And it's hard because, you know, a lot of women, in general, everybody, but women, we don't know why we got triggered.
Yeah.
And we don't go and, like, FBI the shit out of it and be like, oh, this is, all right, I understand it. Let's move forward. Now I know what might cause next time if that happens.
And then how do I manage that? Because I know where it's coming from. Yeah.
But we don't, a lot of people don't do that.
Yeah.
Or they don't sit down with someone and talk about it and be like, okay, this is what you do. It's really hard.
It is.
It's hard. It's hard to recognize it. I think when you're in your early 20s, you don't really see it.
No. Didn't you hate your 20s? I hate it.
You don't see it. Like if I think of my mentality now compared to my 20s, I'm just like, why couldn't I think this way when I was in my 20s? Life would have been a little bit easier.
Right.
Yeah, no. We don't have that concept of like triggering, like what is it that kind of made us feel that way. And we kind of blow off a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And we neglected a lot of our feelings when we were younger too.
Yeah.
We kind of pushed it aside.
We do. Because
like,
we
oh,
are
let's go
told
party.
to be that way too, in a way.
I remember it'd be days where you just like brush it off and be like, all right, fuck it, let's go party. Or like, or we never had boundaries. We never put boundaries as a young age.
Yeah.
Like when we go out with friends and they want to go out and club and all that stuff, if we're not feeling it, we'll feel guilty that we'll say no.
Right.
So we go even if we don't want to.
Yeah.
Now we're just like, you know what, I really need to have my time.
Yeah.
And that person who you're speaking to shouldn't feel like negative towards that.
Yeah, it's not personal.
There's no resentment or anything. It's not personal. I really need to just stay home and relax. It's one of those, it's a me time. Or I'm just too tired, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Like that's it. But as a younger age, nope, that didn't process. It was more like we feel like we felt guilty. That's what it was.
And then we are kind of like forced to feel that way.
Yeah, we're kind of forced to feel that way. We don't understand that until later on. Yeah. Well, that's why we're doing this podcast. So if you're like in your early 20s, FBI your emotions.
Yeah, like investigate why. And if it's hard for you to just to do it by yourself, because it is, then like talk it out with somebody that you can trust.
Yeah. And it's not bad to have a therapist either.
No, it's not. Yeah.
No, it's good. I've noticed a lot of people are doing more and more for therapy, and I'm like, oh, thank God, that's good.
Yeah.
That's really, really good.
Yeah.
I like that. Because I study for psychology. Yeah.
Nice.
And then back like 10 years ago, it wasn't a thing for anybody in their 20s to really have a therapist. And now a lot of people are really like in their 20s having therapists talking about these things. And then there's that conflict of like a lot of what I've noticed, a lot of people kind of just seeing like, I don't like how my parents are running the show. I'm not gonna do it this way.
Yeah.
Or it's sort of like, no, I have my boundaries. Like, you need to understand, like, I have this line. You should not cross it. And it's that generational curse thing that people talk about.
Yeah, generational trauma.
Yeah, and it's crazy because I'm just like, it's because a lot of them are getting help. And because of that help, they're starting to realize what's triggering. And what's starting to realize, okay, well, what is it that I need to do to help me with this?
the older generation who also passed down the generational trauma from the parents, it's just like
It's
passing
like-
down. Yeah, and then they are not getting any help, so they don't know how to deal with that. So only thing they know how is to project that to your kids
Yeah.
or like the next generation.
Yeah.
So that's why like it never stops. It's funny because my mom was doing that to me, and I recognized that, so we talked about it. And then interesting thing is that my grandmother-in-law was projecting that to me too, and I'm like, I'm not even your daughter.
Oh yeah, even you don't have to be
Yeah.
that like that and
Yeah.
project.
I didn't necessarily have a conversation with her. I didn't feel the need of having that conversation because she's not that deep into my relationship, like not as much as I do with my mother. So I'm like, I don't even have to have the conversation. I just need to know that's what she is doing, and then I know how to block it. Like I'm not going to get that her generational trauma. I will wrap it up and give it back to her. Like, thank you for the gift, but like no.
No, here's the receipts.
That was my mindset. Yeah.
It says 30 days, go back, here we go.
Yeah, here you go, thank you.
No, it's
Back to
true.
the sender.
No, it's true. Even friends do that.
Yeah.
Even friends with their own trauma, they'll like try. There's those moments was like, no, like, no, you can't do that because you have to do it this way, and then this is why, and you're just like, why? Well, because it's gonna be this, and you're like, but that's your issue, not mine. Like, I don't have to go that direction, you know? And all of a sudden, it's sort of like, okay, why are you getting upset? Like, that's kind of like something that you need to deal with. I don't see it that way. Like, I can help you with it, but I'm not, like, don't get upset for me not rejecting that, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
No. I haven't I haven't had a friend like that for a long time, so like it's a good reminder that like there are people like that exist.
Well, as we get older, we start. I tell people, and I tell this to like friends that are in their early, they just turned 30. I tell them, look, as you get older, your friends become the size of your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Ooh,
it gets really less.
Yeah.
You're really good friends. Friends that you know you can trust. That you know you'll be in your 80s still dancing the WAP and shit. That kind of friends.
Yes.
That is going to be this much.
Yeah.
I'm like, look at older people and look at how many friends they have. It's because you learn the value of that relation. You learn that relationships is not just between a man or woman, man, doesn't matter. A love interest. It's also friendship. Friendship is relationship. You have a relationship with them. So in other words, it's not always good. There's always bad. And that bad is always going to make that friendship way better in the future. And it's true, as you get older, you start noticing, like, we have a bunch of friends, but if I were to really, really, really tell you, I have, like, less than 5 really, like, good core friends.
Yeah.
And as you get older, that's what you notice.
Yeah.
You start seeing, and then you start noticing, like, what fits good with you.
Yes, for sure.
And there's nothing wrong with doing that. It's like finding the man of your life.
Yeah.
Or the partner of your life.
Yeah.
You know, like, they have to fit. It has to fit there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's normal, people. That's a normal thing,
That's totally normal.
Yeah. Just know that friendships are relationships, too. And you nitpick. Now, like I said, that's why I always tell everybody, like, in the end, when you get older, your true core friends start to get minimized.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's crazy for me. And people, when they're younger, they're just like, really? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, oh my God, I have so many friends. I'm like, yeah, like if you're single and you got no kids and family and they get married and they decide to have kids and all that, guess what? Like,
they're gonna go somewhere else.
They go different paths.
Yeah, we all evolve.
We all evolve. Yeah, it's crazy.
It's
crazy.
Yeah.
But I like that you do that. I love that you sleep. I might try that. Just sleep.
Yeah. When in doubt, sleep. Just sleep. Most of the time.
Because you know where I like to. Okay, what I've been dying to go. Oh man, the Korean spa.
Oh my God, have you been to We Spa?
The one in one over there?
Yeah, K-Town. Yeah, I think the most famous one.
Yeah, we went there.
We went there, but I have a face because we've gone to a lot of different ones. And that's like the least one I want to go to. Because I've been to one in Irvine.
Okay.
And the one in Irvine.
That sounds bougie.
It's bougie. It's bougie.
I've never been
but
on
I
an
love,
Irvine, but like
it's
they're not
but it's still
messing around.
It's still $25 to get in.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay, I love it because they're so fucking clean. Like,
yeah.
constantly clean.
Yes.
Constant, like, crazy. And I love their system because when you walk in, you gotta take off your shoes right away. And then you go in.
Yeah.
The one there in K-Town, it's not like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. And then I went in there, I was like, oh, what? Like, okay, like, I get it. And it was fun. Oh my god, we spent like $300 that day.
What? Really? Wait.
Did we not spend like almost $300?
Is
like
it Wiesbaden or somewhere else?
The spa?
The spa. Remember when we ringed out the thing? She's like, it's like $200 and something.
No way. That is horrifying.
Do you remember?
I'm gonna.
It was the food. Yeah, I do because that was in my card.
Hold a pillow because emotionally cannot handle it.
So they give you the little thing, and you charge everything.
Yeah.
So we tend to always we chill, relax. He does his own thing, I do my own thing, and we meet up at the communal.
Yes.
And then we go eat.
Yeah.
So we had
that.
our normal thing.
Yeah.
But damn, that shit came out really expensive.
That's insane. Okay, so maybe like a price must have changed because I can't remember the last time I was at the Korean
We
spa.
went there last year.
Okay, the last time we went there, definitely pre-pandemic. And then at that time, the entrance fee was still like $25, and then food and drinks over there was like a good around like $20 and things. So that sounds insane. Yeah. Maybe they changed the price. They changed
it because I paid like two something, like 200 and something.
That is.
And we had like 2 smoothies. We ate our food that we normally order.
Still,
it
shouldn't cost that much.
That is insane. It did. And I don't think it was 25. I think it was 35 for our entry. It's gone up. So if you said it was 25, it's 35 now.
Oh, I need to find the new love.
The Irvine one.
Yeah.
Oh man, like
what's the name of the Irvine one?
It's iSpa.
iSpa, okay.
Oh my god. Oh god. I love it. It is kind of bougie, but I love it. It's bigger. The food is amazing.
Okay.
So the cool room, the ice room?
Yes.
Okay. So they have it where it's like the AC's blasting like crazy.
Yeah.
This one has nitrogen.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So when you
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's so, and then each room is literally made out of what they say, because the one over there, it's like these little rooms with crystals in the wall. No, they actually have one that it's like a full-on sauna, like hot as fuck.
Yeah.
One that's a clay, like literally it's made out of clay. One is
jade,
all wood.
Like jade. Yeah, the wood. Yeah.
The other one is pink salt. Yeah, it's so good. Like, I like it. I tell him, like, that's a place for me to go. It's 25, and I think we probably spend maybe about 100, 120 for everything.
That's awesome.
And we're there.
See, that makes sense.
Yes.
That $200, $300 do not add up in my head.
When that girl told me the price, and I'm not shitting you because I had my credit card with me, and I was like, well, thank God I have a limit here. So I was like, that's how I remember it. I was like, well, I got that much. Here goes my credit card. And I was like, telling him, like, I don't know about this place. I don't know.
It shouldn't cost that much either.
It was expensive. But yeah, I told him, no, I don't want this. I'd rather go to Irvine. I like Irvine. I love the food. I love how they have it set. I'm going there. And I really like it. It's very peaceful.
Yeah. Korean spa is great. Like, sweat it out, and after that, because, like, you sweat so much, your body's kind of exhausted, so, like, you would take a perfect nap or sleep either way. It's like...
He's fine me sleeping there.
Yeah.
he takes forever in his section. So he, like, legit, when we go there, I am expecting not to see him an hour or two until, like, he gets out.
Downstairs, like, a bath, shower area? Wow.
Because it's boys and girls.
Yeah.
And he just, like, I'm like, I'll see you in an hour or two. He's like, all right, cool. And I'll do my thing. And then I'll get out and I'll be, like, sleeping on the floor.
It's the best.
And he'll come up to me and be like, hey. And he's like, it was so good. And I'm just like, I know. hell, huh? Ready to get in the sauna. He's like, yeah. And I'm like, all right, cool. So we do the whole thing, and we're hopping from hot to cold, hot to cold.
Yes.
And then we're like, you ready to eat? And I'm ready to eat.
Yeah. Yes.
I want to do that so badly. We haven't gone for a while. We were supposed to go last time. I forgot something came up and we couldn't go. So I was like, oh, I really want to go.
Yeah, it's been a while.
People, you guys need to do Korean spa. Trust me,
Is there anyone that haven't tried it that live in LA? Like, you can.
You know the people
Can
we
you call yourself
all our
Angeliano,
friends that we know, they've
Yeah.
never tried it.
I think it's that part where you have to naked and downstairs.
But even that
And
part,
the idea that like we're sharing this like bathtub with strangers naked. That's the culture that I grew up in, and I was like, okay.
no, like
but-
even that, like you're supposed to like bathe yourself and clean and wash yourself really good.
Yeah,
before
there's
you
a
even
rule.
get in those fucking pools.
Yeah, you can't dive in there.
No, you
once
can't.
you get naked. There's a
No,
rule.
you need to like
Yeah.
like they literally tell you need to take a shower and they even have shampoo. They have everything you need there if you forget.
Toothbrush. They even have
The
toothbrush.
toothbrush, hair blow dryer, all that stuff.
Everything.
And you have to wash yourself and then get in the water.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. And it's like,
I'm glad that you point that out. Yes.
yeah, because people don't know it. People are just like, oh, you're naked back there. Like, yeah, but you have to like literally clean yourself first because you can't get in these waters unless you are clean. Because it's nasty if you go in there. It's like, no.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, people need to know nobody gives a fuck like how you
that
look.
you're naked. Yeah, exactly.
Like I had friends literally telling me like I want to. Oh no, not friends. It was a bunch of girls that went there. They were like not Asian. I was like not Asian, and they were like, I'm ready for this because I worked out, my body's good, I could get naked, and I was in my head I was like, nobody gives a fuck.
Nobody.
I was like, do you not see the older Asian ladies here with titties sagging down? They don't give a fuck.
Droopy.
They're just like
almost touching the floor, and they don't give a fuck.
They don't give a fuck. They're just like, I'm here to relieve myself.
Yes, they're there to relax, and that's the purpose of it.
Yeah, and that's why a lot of people need to know.
They think
like,
it's like a gym locker room or something. Like it's not a competition.
No,
honey.
and then they a lot of people associate that with an American spa, and it's like it's not even like that. It's actually way better.
It's way better,
right? It's like so
way
much
better. I don't understand why is it all
and
expensive
cheaper.
American
When
spa.
I took my friend for her birthday, she's like, "If you told me we were gonna go to a Korean spa, I swear I was like, oh my god, Reyna, do you don't have to spend that much money?" And when she found out, I was like, "Bitch, it's only $25 per person." Like what? She's like. She was so amazed, and when we ate, she's like, "Oh my god, you didn't spend a lot." I was like, "No." I'm like, "Don't think I'm cheap or anything. I'm just like, it's a great experience."
Yeah.
Yeah. And she loved the whole like getting naked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's therapeutic in a sense.
It is so good for your health, for your body, and for your mental health because you do want to go there to relax and get away from everything.
Yeah, you really think nothing there. All you care about, like, okay, like after the sauna, I'm gonna go to that one. Like, oh, I'm hungry, I'm gonna go get food. Like that's all.
And when you're hot as fuck in there, you're not thinking of anything else. You're just like, okay, I need to take like 10 more minutes. And I'll live through this, and I'll go to the cool room, and then I'll be fine and cool down, and then I can do this again.
Yes.
Like, you're not even thinking about anything else.
And that's the best part. Yeah. And then I forgot, like, when my body used to, like, really juck up, and then I need, like, all my muscles are tense, I would go there because it fixes it.
It does. Yeah. And people need to know that, you want to know why Asian people have great skin?
Yeah.
It's because they do this religiously.
Yeah,
and they do it as
Detox.
a family too. Like that place, I never go on the weekend because I know how packed it gets.
Super packed. Yeah.
You know, that's like the number one. You do not go to weekends because it gets packed and it's families and they're all together. And no. I go on the weekdays where there's less people and I could just enjoy a little bit better that way. Yeah. But it's crazy, and they have even a kid area. It's so cute.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. You know what's crazy? That the ladies know your size. They're like,
yeah.
They just grab your
stuff. They just like, okay,
they just
your
like,
size.
They already see you walking in, and they're like, we know what size. And I remember doing the first time, and I was like, and I'm like, oh, okay. I'm thinking, this bitch is not. I'm a plus size girl. Like, how do you know? And I put it on, and I was like, she knew.
The
like,
eye
what
major, yeah.
Dude, like, they just know.
They're pro.
It's hilarious.
Yeah, there's like a no waste in their movement when they're taking care of people.
No, there isn't. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And the first time, so I've been told by my Korean friends, like, you need to go.
Mm-hmm.
And I never did. And again, it was because of the nudity thing. But once they actually broke it down and explained to me, I was like, oh, I see, okay. So I really wanted to go. So when I officially went for the first time, it was it Valentine's Day that I took you?
First time?
Yeah. It was a gift. I remember it was a surprise for you.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh my god, and we're close to Valentine's. No wonder I'm thinking about it right now. So it was Valentine's that I did it for him, and I was like, I have a surprise for you.
Yeah.
And he's like, really? I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, we're driving there, and I'm not going to tell him anything. We get there, and he's like, it's a spa? And I'm like, yeah, it's a spa I've been talking to you about. And so we go in there, and we're both new to this, and we're just like, okay, we'll see you. And then we both get out, and he's like, oh my god, it's so amazing. Right? Weren't you like, you were just like,
I loved it because for years I would go to this sauna in the gym.
Oh, I see. Yeah,
he's
yeah.
a sauna freak. We're getting a sauna.
Yeah.
So I told him, I want to purchase a sauna and have it in the house.
Yes.
And he's like, you're probably going to see me there all the time.
Every day.
Yeah. Oh, that.
He's a sauna freak. Like,
You literally use it every day. It's totally worth having that then.
Oh, yeah.
He loves it. So when he was in the guy's side, he's like, damn, there's someone right there, like, cutting their hair and everything. And I was just like, dude, for reals? He's like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, so and I warned about, like, you know, I told him, okay, when you go in, so you won't be, like, stupid about, like, asking questions to anybody, you need to go take a shower. I was like, okay, you go.
Wash yourself.
Remember I was telling you, I was like, you go and wash yourself, make sure, and then you can go in, because you got to be naked to go in these places. And I remember telling him this, because I was like, I don't want him asking. I was like, I want you to be like, all right, I got this. I know what to do. So I remember asking him, like, what happened? He's like, well, I found the showers, and I took a shower, you know, and then I got in the water, and they have, like, this cold water.
Yes.
So I dipped myself in there.
Nice.
Yeah.
You already knew what to do. That's awesome.
Like, I never been to one, but I was prepared. I was like, okay, I know what to do. It was hilarious.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love, like, experiencing different culture for the first time. It's
I
like,
loved it.
yeah.
I even bought the scrubs. I have it at home.
That thing was super popular. It got super popular during 90s in Japan. Like, everyone had it. Like, before that, none of the household had the scrub. And then once it became a hit, like, every household had it.
I have it at home.
Yeah.
But I don't... You're not supposed to do it often.
Do it every day, yeah.
And you're supposed to do it, like, you know...
It's like exfoliate.
Yeah, I do like 1 to 2 weeks because I really exfoliate.
Yeah.
The funny part is that I buy it at the Korean store because people were trying to buy it at the Amazon, and I'm like, dude, Korean store is like $5 for like a 30 pack, like, dude. But what's funny to me is that when water hit it, it got shrunk. Then I was like, oh shit, like, it's tiny. Okay, let me like try to see if I can do this. But I remember doing it, and I was like, damn, I have that much dead skin.
Is that good?
I was like, oh my god, I didn't even scrub my whole body. Oh my god, I love that.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's like, they're really smart. I don't know who came up with that first, but
I don't know, but I love it. Like, I grew up with loofahs.
Yes.
But, like, the actual, like, big... Yeah, and I used to hate it as a kid because that shit fucking hurt.
Yeah.
But now as an adult, it's like, you know what? We're going to grow loofahs in the backyard because I definitely want those to, like, foliate my whole body.
Yeah, really, like, getting rid of the dead skin.
Yeah, and my mom would buy it at the Mexican store. And it would be in this big old jar, like, big old bucket, and it was these long as, like, it's the loofah. It's, like... Not the loofah with the scrubber.
Yeah.
It's like the plant.
The actual.
Which I didn't even know was a plant as a kid.
Yeah.
And it would be there. She would buy one and she would at home cut it so we all can have a piece.
I didn't know that. That's so funny.
I'm serious. So she would have like this really long one and it was me and my brothers and her and she would cut it so we all have a piece. Oh my god.
That's the trick.
Yeah, and we would scrub ourselves. And I'm just like, now as an adult, I'm like, I remember growing up thinking, I don't want that. I would see it, I was like, I don't want that. Now I'm just like, I want to grow it because I want to have it.
Right.
So I want to definitely use it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You came to full circle.
The full circle. I was like, I get what my mom did.
Yeah.
But I love how she would buy the big one and just cut it up to our portion.
It is.
It's like,
she
here's
cracked
your
the code.
here's your sponge. Like,
Yeah.
use it. Yeah.
The idea of cutting that thing is like really funny to me.
Yeah, she would cut it. She would be home. She would literally cut it in our pieces, and I would be like,
it's like a bread.
yeah, it's like a bread. Yeah, and she had to make sure she had the right knife to cut it correctly.
Yeah, I bet.
Oh man.
Oh wow.
Those Mexican stores were crazy. They had machetes.
Yeah.
Like
They do?
Yes. So there was this one store called Liborios, and it was from like Guatemala, Salvador, Mexico. Because
Okay.
my family were Salvadorian.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, they have like the stuff that we need from El Salvador. And I was like, all right, cool. Go in there. You see all these crazy fruits, sugar cane, like all these crazy like stuff that you don't see in other stores because they don't have it there. And I remember seeing machetes, like they would be literally in the wall, and you would purchase them at the market, at the grocery store,
Right.
And there were different sizes and different designs, and I always looked at them like, do people really buy machetes?
Yeah,
here
it's
at
like
this
a
stuff?
weapon. What do they need?
It's like, I'm gonna go
for?
get eggs and milk and a machete. Like, hey kids, I'm gonna go to the store. What do you guys need? Well, we need some like cereal and then something to protect us as we go home. Like, oh yeah, machete. All right, perfect. What size? Perfect, got it. I'm not kidding. Liboria would have that. Like, it's so crazy.
What do they use?
It's used when you're in the jungle to cut down.
Right, that
Yeah.
I know, but like to have it at house, like
It's to protect themselves.
okay,
Yeah, like the
it's like owning the baseball butt. So
like poor person who comes in, like I'm gonna chop off a fucking arm.
Yeah.
Damn. No, and they were like from here to like
That
this
right? Yeah,
big.
this is what I'm imagining. Yeah.
Oh my god, no! I don't even have a machete and stuff. Like I have dogs.
Dog is good enough.
Dogs are good. Dogs are good.
I hope the world to be a place where you don't need to own a machete. That's like the goal.
If I would say machete or gun, I'd rather have a machete than a gun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd rather have that.
I absolutely agree with that.
Because I already have knives at the house, so it's
Yeah.
like I'm prepared.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I know. I think I understand that.
Yeah, and if anything close to a gun, it's like a BB gun.
Yeah.
'Cause I know that won't penetrate, but hurt like hell.
Yeah,
Like
it
if
does.
I can aim the person, and if it's a guy, right in the middle, I'd be like, all right, get the fuck up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It hurts.
But that's it. No guns. I've seen so much shit happening because of that. Like, no way.
Yeah, no, me too. Like growing up in Japan, like you don't want to deal with that.
No, you
Yeah.
don't. No. I'm all like Japan, samurai swords.
Yeah.
Even then, well, my friend was like, you have to. I remember he was such a nerd. He was like, you can't just buy any samurai sword. Like, you have to make sure it's legit.
Yeah.
Because if not, it breaks. And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, they're flimsy. They think like
Yeah.
you pay all this $100 and they're flimsy. They're not original. Like, are you serious? He's like, yeah. Like they're like, if you get in Japan, they're really expensive for the good ones. I'm like, what? I was like, I don't want that. I was like, I'm good. Machete. I was like, that's more intimidating.
Even I don't need that.
I was like, I was
Scary.
telling him, I cannot do any sword shit kind because I told him, you know these new colorful knives that I bought?
Yeah.
I was like, I'm letting everyone use them. I'm letting you use it, kind of wear it down because I have this bad luck that every time I buy new knives, I cut myself.
Oh no!
I'm not like pendeja where I'm just like, fuck, of course, they're new. That's why. So he was cutting up, and I was like, if you notice, I don't really use the new knives. I'm going back to the other ones and kind of
Yeah.
making them sharp.
Yeah.
And he's laughing. He's like, yeah, I'm like, I'm cursed. I literally told him, I'm cursed. He's like, what do you mean? I'm like, it always happens every time I buy new knives. I cut myself. I don't know what it is, but it happens. So yeah, machete? Hell no. Samurai?
Hell no.
I'll be like a pendeja, like just cutting myself or something.
Sounds like a trouble. I'm like, no, thank you.
No. So right now he's using the knives, and I'm just like, I'm literally getting the dull ones and just kind of like cutting them up, just like kind of braising them with the stone.
How long do you think it's gonna take you to finally start?
I'm starting with the small knife.
Wow. Okay.
So I got a set. They're really cute. They're different colors.
Uh-huh.
They're like pink, blue, green.
Yeah.
Purple.
Yeah.
And the whole knife is that color.
Yeah.
So there's different sizes. So right now I'm starting with the small one. That's a pink one.
You're getting used to it.
And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna start. I'm like, I remember getting it. I was like, I'm gonna get this, and I'm gonna use it. Like, just be really careful.
That's so funny.
But I'm not touching those big ass ones. He likes, I don't know what the heck it is, but he will just get the big one and he'll just be like chop, and I'm like,
nice. I mean, somebody gotta use the knife.
oh my god. He's like, you know how to cut, right? Like you cook, you're a good cook. And I'm like, yeah, I know how to cut, but I'm still like a dumbass. I still cut myself. Like I don't know what to tell you. I'm clumsy, and he knows I'm clumsy. So
oh, well, there you go. That is the reason.
Yeah, he knows. Like, yeah, you know. He's like, I'm clumsy. I'm just like,
well, at least you know yourself, you know.
Yeah.
You can prevent from potential disaster.
True. So a long time ago, my ankle. I used to play basketball all the time since I was like 10 up to high school, up to senior year, and my ankle would get messed up because I would always constantly not fracture, but I would sprain it.
Yeah.
There was one time, no basketball, by the way. The injury did not happen because of basketball. It happened because I was wearing socks.
Yeah.
And they had just waxed the floor. And my ex-boyfriend at the time was trying to like tickle me or something, so I ran.
Stupid.
And I slid like Tom Cruise, but instead of stopping, I fucking hit the wall.
Oh no!
So I slid, and I hit the wall, and I messed up my ankle, the one that kept spraining, and I had a fracture. And so they took me to the hospital, and the doctor had told me, well, either we break it for you, like right now we can just break it and then patch it up and then like put a cast and so the bone can grow, or you can just, we'll just wrap it and then you just make sure you don't put pressure and it's gonna heal, but there's a possible chance that it'll break, and it won't break like the way it will break. It's unpredictable and it might cause worse. So like if we break it, at least we know how to. I was young. I was like, fuck that. I don't want you to break. I don't want nothing to break right now. I'll just take the risk. So, that whole fucking year, tell me why, whenever I would fall, like whenever I would like trip, I would let go of my whole body. This is me like trip and I'm like, that was me for a whole year.
Oh my god.
Like, so when I've ever felt like I'm tripping, instead of like, you trip and you kind of tense your body
yourself,
up.
Yeah.
No, my dumbass is like, minute you see me, minute you don't see me. Because I'm on the floor.
How long did it take you to fully heal? And then did it break at some point?
So, it took me like a whole year.
Yeah, that's insane.
For it to really, really heal. And then when I first landed my job in LA, I had to wear heels. And heels hurt in general. But for me, it hurt mostly because it was that pressure.
Of course.
But that whole time that I was wearing heels, it helped me. Like, it made it stronger. Like, that one section, it just made it stronger, so I was able to walk. But the thing is, ever since then, I still fall like that. That's why I said the clumsy part.
It's in your body?
I still fall like that. And he knows because if I like trip, I literally lose like my body. My brain says like, let loose your whole body, and I just fall on the floor. So it's like any movies that you see of someone falling and tripping and fall. Yeah, that's me. You just see me going, oh shit.
Now I kind of like want to see you trip and fall today.
That is how like, and I have like these platforms that are like this big and they're flat. They're like just flat platforms, whatever. They look very Japanese heel, but they're this big. And he's like, I almost tripped on it, but I caught myself.
Yeah.
And he's like, what the fuck did I just see? And I was like, nothing? You didn't see anything. You didn't see nothing. But I'm clumsy. I just do that. So when I do fall, I fall silly as fuck. And it's because it's ingrained in me. It's ingrained. But my heels, like, it's perfectly fine. It's,
that's good.
That's years ago.
Maybe that's actually protecting you from, like...
Well, because I'm like, if I fuck up, then it'll break.
Exactly.
And the doctor told me, like, if it breaks, it might break really bad.
Yeah.
Where you might need steel or anything like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, no, that's not going to happen. And I remember the one time that I was walking to the car, and my boyfriend was on the driving, and I was in passenger. I walk, and I tripped, and I fall, and he's like, Reyna? I'm like, I'm down here. I'm down here. He's like, what happened? I was like, I almost tripped, so I kind of let go.
What a concept.
He literally looked up, he's like, where the fuck did she go? Yes.
If I would not be, like, warned about it and then witness that, like, without any explanation, I would freak out. Like, are you okay?
But now that you see it, you're going to be laughing your ass off.
Yeah, I was like,
you're
going to be like...
Yeah. Yeah, that is shit that I do, yeah.
That is really funny.
Yeah, and it's just been... I don't know, it's just ingrained. But I didn't know that when you let loose of your whole body, like, there was a girl that I had, she's going to be part of the podcast, but the story she had was that she got in a car accident. And she says that a lot of times you always see that the kids survive.
Yeah.
And not the adults. And it's because they automatically let loose. So whenever you're in a car accident, you're not supposed to tense up. You're supposed to, like, let loose.
Yeah.
And just, like,
I was actually
body.
thinking about that. I think it's actually good for your body and better that way.
Yeah, there's less. Because when you're tensed up and you kind of hold yourself for the impact, it's going to break.
Yeah. Because, like, you're tensed up where it should be, like, loosened up in order to, like, you know, the decrease the shock or whatever.
Yes. So
it's hard to actually loosen up your body completely and let yourself go. It's actually, like, you're talented.
that happened to her. She was in a car, and she and her sister and her friends or cousins, I think it was 4 people, and 3 of them got really injured.
Oh, no.
She got really injured, like, really bad. But I believe her cousin didn't. Because they all saw the impact coming, and her cousin automatically went loose. And she had nothing on her. Probably, like, a bruises here, but that's it. And everybody else were very badly injured. And she was explaining to me that the best thing for you to do is to really try your best to let loose and not tense up. Because you have a higher chance of not getting hurt and not breaking anything. I was like, what? It's like, yeah, out of all of us, my cousin's, like, nothing happened to her. A couple bruises and that's it.
This is a great life lesson I got today.
Yeah, I was just like, fuck.
Yeah.
Fuck, that is so crazy. And the second episode from the first season, Amber, she talks about her accident. And she still has, she hit, like, the way I think she was in a scooter, and she hit the concrete, and the asphalt from the concrete, it's still in her skin.
Whoa!
After, I think, a decade after that happened.
Oh my god. Wow.
Because when you see her, she's like, you see this here, and you see it here, and here, and here. And she's like, that's from, like, the hit. It's still in my...
Holy shit.
I was like, that is a real thing? And she's like, yeah, it still stays with you. And I was like, what? Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I was like, damn. And she's very traumatized. She doesn't like, she's very particular driving. And she will never get on, like, any motorcycle or anything.
Yeah.
And when we were doing the podcast, there was sirens that triggers her.
I can understand that,
Yeah.
I can understand that, like, those siren could trigger a lot of people.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I don't have anything to do with it, but still, like, it's a scary sound.
It is.
And then I know it's like purposely that way probably, but like still.
Yeah, because it comes around, and if it's near your house and it stays around your house, and you're just like, oh my god, what's going on here?
It gives you like some type of anxiety.
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, if it just rolls by, you're like, alright, cool. Hopefully they're okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. But crazy, that life-threatening accident that she had, because she almost died from it, that's the reason why she became an actress.
Wow.
Because she was studying to become a doctor. And she realized that that was more what her family wanted her to do.
Kind of safety route, too.
She loves medicine.
Yeah.
She loves patients. She really did. But that wasn't really her calling. So that accident really kind of just showed her, like, where she wanted to go. And she said it right there. She became an actress. And I was like, oh, shit. Like, literally life-threatening. Like, that's your decision to why you did it.
Yeah.
Because this is about why you did it, right? And that was her why. I think that was so impactful when I saw that. I was like, shit.
Yeah.
And that's big, because doctor to actress. That's big. Let's be real. Like, people would be like, wait, you're going to be a doctor, you're going to be making money. It was like, no, not necessarily. If you really think about it, you're going to be in a lot of debt.
It doesn't, like, fulfill your heart, though, yeah.
No, it didn't fulfill her heart. And she knew, like, she was close to dying, that she knew, like, you know, when I'm going to have a second chance. Like, this is my second chance. So I was super amazed when she told me that. I was like, I would never have known that happened to you.
Yeah.
Because you look like you're all together.
Yeah.
And that was the point of this podcast. What I tell people is that people see a perception of you outside, but not really know who you really are.
Right. And what goes behind the scene, that kind of thing.
And at the end of the day, we're more alike than anything else. That we are more like someone who has a 9-to-5 job. Her feelings, emotions, or what she's going through might be similar to what you're doing. You know, what you're going through. We're all pretty much the same.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, what I've been noticing lately, that I've been telling everybody, your struggle, your moments that you're not feeling great, does not supersede, or it doesn't go lesser than mine.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, my struggle, your struggle are equal.
Equal, yeah.
Equal.
Equally valued.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. And not other people say that. Not other people say that. People are like, oh, I'm going, you know, like, I went through this shit. No, but I'm really going through a hard time. And it's like, I get it, but it doesn't mean that your shit is more than my shit.
Yeah, no, there's
it's
like
the same.
Who's worse, who's miserable. Like, we're not doing a petty game.
No, it's what they say, what is it with the capital, the victim with the capital V. So you're playing the victim, but with the capital V, and that's just, you're making it more of a bigger deal.
Yeah.
And people need to know that as women, your struggles is not the same as mine. Yeah. But it's not also greater or lesser.
Yeah.
And what you're going through
is real for you.
It's it may be something so tiny that, in my mindset, I'm like, well, I did it and I succeeded, and why can't you do it? And it's like, no, because she doesn't have your brain, your mind, very different. Your lifestyle, very different. Like, people still, like, it's that saying, like, well, if I did it, you can do it. It's like, no. That does not work in this.
Not the same.
Not work in this environment here.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. And that's something I want people to know out there. I think season 3 is more about, like, letting people know that our struggle has no limit, but at the same time, we should not consider that yours is bigger than mine. Yeah. You know,
definitely not.
Kind of weird, because I thought about naughty stuff when I said that. It's like, that's like the worst wording thing to say. Like, yours not bigger than mine, right? Like, yeah. You're like, no,
size
mine's
doesn't
big.
Matter.
Like, mine's big. Size doesn't matter. Size does not matter.
Struggle size have zero limit. Okay, that was so not catchy at all. I don't even know why I even tried.
I've been trying to find a way, but the way I like to describe it is, like, whatever struggle you go through is no greater, no lesser than mine.
Yeah, it's know what? We need a drag queen, because they always come up with a catchy thing.
I know. You know, I've been wanting to have a drag queen here.
Yeah.
I've been wanting to have a drag queen to come into the podcast.
That's my goal this year.
I have a transgender. Like I have her, so I was like, oh cool, and she like plays rock band and all that stuff. It's pretty cool.
Amazing. Yeah. That's the non-profit organization you support.
Yeah. That's the non-profit. Yeah. But I found her through a friend, and she just has crazy stories about like her transition and stuff like that.
I bet there. Yeah. I can't even imagine.
I can't because in the end of the day, it's like it's not he, it's her. Mm-hmm. You know, because that's how she felt.
Yeah.
This whole entire time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wanted to ask you, the photographer you took photos with.
Yeah, Davis. Yes.
I was like, oh my god, like I follow him, and I was just like, how is that?
Isn't he incredible? It was one of the best experience ever.
I love how he does shit. Mm-hmm. Like, it's not just what he captures. Mm-hmm. I love his whole, like, structure.
He does, like, almost like therapy, you know, through his photography.
Yes.
The concept he has is, like, you know, so empowering, and then help people realize that they are beautiful individual.
That's what I do in my photography.
Yeah.
So when I do it, I tell people... He's watched me. He's like, you know how you do your photography? They're the MVP. Like, you motivate them. You're constantly throwing all this stuff at them.
You're a hype woman.
Yeah, I'm the hype woman. And even if they're kind of like, no, and you're like, no, don't say that, no. Yeah. You say yes here. Here we say yes. And I'm like, I didn't know I did that. He's like, yeah, you do that. And I was like, oh, how awesome. I love that.
Yeah, and take the compliments when you get it.
Yes.
Own that thing.
Yes.
Don't feel bad about it. No, and don't feel like, oh, I'm not like, no, stop.
No, I didn't know I did that. And I was like, I didn't know I was doing that. I was like, oh, okay, fuck it. Like, let's keep doing it. Because for me, it's like, if you're going to be here and you're going to take photos, I need you to feel comfortable.
Yeah.
There's a trust between you and I. Photography has not been like that, where it's a trust thing, you know, where it's like, we're coming into this environment. I need you to feel like this is your home too.
Yes. And I think that's what he does. Like, so, you know, I gifted myself the photography with him as my last year's birthday gift. I'm like, I want to celebrate the hell out of myself. And he was already getting big through TikTok and everything. So I was like, it's not that, like, I'm super broke. I can afford him right now. And then I feel like if I, like, let it go for a little bit, I think his price is going to be up. And it's going to be even harder to get that.
And booking it is going to be
so
hard.
I'm like, if I think that now is the time, I should freaking do it. So I did. And then the first thing, you know, obviously, his assistant will reach out to you and then talk about, like, normally this is how it goes. Like, you know, we would, like, we do the session for, like, a few hours, and, like, people usually get, like, 4 to 5 different looks. So, like, if you have any theme or concept, so we talk about it with the assistant, and once you figure out the whole outfit and everything, the day of, you will meet him for the first time, and then we kind of go over, and then, like, tell him if you have a theme, let him know, and then if you don't have a theme, let him know, he'll work it out with you. But right before we start the photography, he would not necessarily consent, but more like a pep talk where, like, I want you to know that, like, I want you to, like, feel comfortable, that you're beautiful, and then, you know, like, he kind of, like, give you a self-assuring moment. And then he would also let you know, like, this is a safe space, and then if you don't know what you're doing, just follow my instruction. And he does this, like, almost choreography way of, like, how to pose people, and then he does that for you, and it's like magic. It's, like, so fun.
Yeah.
And then he will create this, like, posing that's not in your head, that you never thought of, because, like, you being with this body and a face for years, so you know, like, your best angle, and then you have your own, like, idea of, like, how to pose and things so that you look photogenic. And he come from, like, a completely different approach. So when you see the photo that he took, you're like, oh shit, I didn't know I had this side of myself. You know, so it's, like, really really empowering and inspiring experience. Like, I felt so good after that. I felt so good about myself, and I could not wait to see photos.
Yep.
And he is type of an artist able to pull something out of you, the way that see yourself, or way that you want to see yourself. He will visualize that for you, because he sees it with you too.
I think that's what I love about him. That he does that. And then, yeah, because that's how I wanted to take my photography. I didn't want to be your standard photographer or artist.
There are plenty of that, and they can do their own thing, but like...
It's like how I do this podcast. That's how I do my photography. Yeah. I make sure you're okay, and then you're comfortable.
If you're able to like help somebody, to like make them feel better about themselves, that's so meaningful. Than being a really great photographer. That's good too, making money, but like kind of like bypassing like how that person is feeling by getting photographed.
That's exactly how I have like all the models and everybody that comes here to take it, because I think that's what you want. This is what I tell everybody when they want to do boudoir, especially boudoir. It's like, it's like comfort out of, you're like, yes, boudoir, and then when you actually do it, you're just like, oh shit. Yeah. So what I always tell them, look, this is gonna be from a woman's perspective boudoir. Yeah. From a woman's eye. So there's gonna be positions, poses that may not feel like you're like, what is this really boudoir? No. And it's gonna look amazing. And when I actually develop them, they're just like, oh shit.
Blown away.
Like, whoa, you captured that. I'm like, yeah. And the thing that I love what he told me, which I didn't realize that, and I was like, oh shit, you're right. He's like, there's certain angles that you take that you make the women look powerful. And I was like, really? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, oh, that's so nice. And whenever I
good support.
When he said that, I was like looking through my shit, and I was like, oh shit, you're right. Like, I never noticed that I naturally do that. So every person I speak to, especially for women, I'm like, we're gonna do poses, and we're not doing Playboy poses, especially as boudoir. We're not doing that. And this is from a woman's perspective. Yeah, your beauty. And I would say, okay, what is that you're uncomfortable and not comfortable with? Let me know, because I don't want to go in that area. And the whole conversation we're having, it's like that, because I got my bachelor's in psychology, so
I see that coming handy.
Yeah, that comes in handy. So I talk to everybody, and they just feel amazing when they leave. And I'm like, and you telling me that his process is like that? I'm like, there has to be more photographers like this.
I know. I want more of those.
Because I'm sure you've done photography. Yeah. Plenty of photography where it was not like that.
Yeah.
Right? You're just like,
all right, let's hurry up. You just have to suck it. I was like, okay, it is what it is, you know?
Oh, God.
But my husband, Stevie, he's also an artist. And then I'm trying to, like, have him also, like, do photography because he has that sensitivity as well. So, like, sometimes we would do like help some actor friends who can't afford like a bougie ass headshot, but they need something right now to start with. We would just like do it, and then those people are like the one that never done it before. So he does the camera, and I do basically hype woman kind of thing.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, and then I wish that like there are more photographers like that, because that's what the matters. Like, people want to be like do like professional photos because they want to capture themselves in the best way possible, like as an imagery, and then I feel like photographer can like take care of people like that a lot, not just being a good photographer, but also understand like what it's like to take care of a one person. Yeah. Looking at the person this person is like one individual. Yeah. Have a life. Yeah. How do I take care of this so I can get the best out of this person?
And then there's a lot of people with body dysmorphia. Yeah. So they
especially right now with social medias and everything, it's hard.
A lot of people, when they expect a certain look from the photography, the photos, and they expect like certain poses. Yeah. And so when you tell them, I'm always aware of like, look, you look amazing, you look beautiful. We're gonna try these new things, and then I always make sure for them to look at the picture and like, look, and they're like, I didn't expect to do that. I didn't know that pose was gonna look good. And I was like, you gotta trust. I was like, trust me. I was like, just trust the process. It's okay. And everybody who does it, they're like, you know what? The way you direct is amazing, because I don't feel like you're directing. You're directing, but you're not doing it like you're forcing me to do things. We're just having a conversation and we're doing this. I'm like, I was like, I don't know about photography, but because I've been at it for 2 years, and I'm like, I don't know that much how it's supposed to communicate, but this is how I communicate with my customer service when I work, like in general, working with people. This is how I do it. But I love that you tell me that he does that, because it's like, we need more people like that.
We do. We just need them. That's the only thing we need.
That's so funny. I know. I'm so happy you got to like meet and everything.
Yeah, me
I definitely
too.
want to meet him in person one day.
I'm so happy I did that. Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Well, I want to know, where can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram. I don't know where I'm looking at. You can find me on Instagram at the one and only Sayaka, because fun fact, the year that I was born in Japan, Sayaka was the most popular baby girl's name. So there's like millions of Sayaka. So that it's a joke. There are millions of Sayaka, and then I say I'm the one and only Sayaka. So you can see me on Instagram. I'm more active on an Insta story lately, but I'll try to like step up on my Insta game. I want to like put more of my comedy content, the stand-up footage. I have a lot. I just have to suck it up, make a reel out of it, and post it. So I am making promise here that I would do that. And then I'm gonna create content, and I also do acting. So when I book something, I also announce it in the Insta story. I just need to post it, so I will, so that you get to know me more.
Perfect.
Yes.
That's awesome. If you ever need anybody, like Anthony does filming and stuff.
I know. Let's
Yeah.
do something.
Well, thank you so much for doing this.
Yes.
And we did this so quickly. We're like, okay, this Tuesday, all right, cool. Let's do it
Yeah.
this day.
No, thank you.
Thank you for coming, because
I love something like that.
this is a platform that I want everyone. It's not really out there. There's a lot of them like this, but not really in depth. And not really sitting down and really talking about
not
it.
like chill like this.
Yeah,
which I
there's not
love.
really chill. It's really like on a table and we're just talking. No, this is more like organic.
Yeah.
And I'm really thankful that you're part of it.
No, of course. Thank you. I'm thankful that I'm a part of it. It's really amazing that I get to be a part of this like really amazing and empowering, cool project. So thank you for having me.
Yeah, and many more. Many
yes,
more.
anytime.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Perfect.
Yeah.
It's a wrap.
Yay.
I sincerely hope you enjoyed that conversation as much as I did. Thank you so much for joining us and listening. Don't forget to like, comment, leave a review, follow us on socials, and subscribe, because you won't want to miss the magic.